Hey everybody, Mike Slifer here in the First Alert Forecast Center. We have reached Friday evening, our final First Alert weather extra of the week. But don't worry, they'll pick right back up on Monday. So let's jump into this. We have a lot to talk about, especially regarding the holiday weekend itself. So Labor Day weekend, bright but cool tomorrow. We'll start off in, say, the mid and upper 40s, low 50s, inland mid 50s along the shoreline, but we only make it to the mid 70s. Typically, we would be in the lower 80s, but we are expecting plenty of sunshine out there. Now, on Sunday, abundant sunshine and turning milder back in the upper 70s, near 80 degrees on Labor Day Monday itself. But the big takeaway here is that it's going to be a dry stretch. Nothing to worry about when it comes to showers. That does mean that pollen counts will be back up a little bit tomorrow and Sunday and Monday. Ragweed, grass is the big ones right now. So your first alert that if you have some of these fall allergies, if you're allergic to especially ragweed, that it might be a little bit, you might be a little sniffly here over the holiday weekend. We are still tracking some light showers in eastern Connecticut right now, especially in the Norwich area and into, say, parts of Ledyard, Gales Ferry. We're not looking at much of an impact here. We'll watch the beams swing around here from Connecticut's only live radar. These are certainly much lighter than what fell earlier today, and this is the end of it. So we are finally on the backside of the front, and we will see things get drier and drier. There's the new scan. You can see the slow advancement there off to the east. Again, this rain is not particularly heavy, especially compared to what fell earlier. We'll show you a loop over the last 6 hours, so you can see that first round of showers and storms that worked its way out, and then there was a bit more that popped up a little bit later in the evening, say between about 6 and 8 p.m., especially favoring parts of Tolland and Windham counties, and then a lot of that fizzled out, and now we're watching just the last few showers out there move away. So this is what it looks like looping over the last 6 hours here throughout the northeast, and we'll show you that where the cold front is working its way through, say, the greater Boston area, out past the Cape and the island. So there is still some rain ongoing in parts of Maine. If your trip took you there and you're watching this from afar, thanks for tuning in. But also, we are still expecting, things to be a little bit more unsettled as you head east. So within our state borders, things have certainly dried up a bit. Now, off to the northwest, temperatures are down into the 50s already. Burlington, Albany, Syracuse, 59, 58 in Buffalo. Hartford is still at 68, but our wind behind that front is northwesterly now. It's coming out of the northwest. And while winds do not go calm tonight, we do expect them to be calm enough that we'll start to really let our temperatures drop back quite a bit, especially with that northwesterly wind pulling in that cool and dry air, which means temperatures are about 45 to 50 throughout the Litchfield Hills, closer to 50 degrees in the greater Hartford area. We'll say on either side of 50. And then as we get into northeastern Connecticut, upper 40s to around 50 degrees. Now, normally this time of year, our low temperature would be around 60. So again, unseasonably cool out there to have many towns 10 or more degrees below normal. Shoreline low temperatures, not quite as extreme, 50 to 55 really throughout our southern counties, maybe even a little bit higher as you get into the greater New Haven area and points southwest. So still cool compared to normal, but not as cool as what we're expecting inland, especially through some of the typical cooler spots in northwestern and northeastern Connecticut. Now for the Hartford area specifically, it was 55 last night, 78 was the high temperature today. So coming in below normal. But you'll note zero rain at Bradley International specifically. All of the rain really favored eastern Connecticut, areas east of I-91. Through East Haddam, Moodus, we had reports up over an inch, maybe even over 2 inches. And there was that band there that went through parts of northern New London County where we had up over an inch. But it was hit and miss even within these regions. Parts of Tolland County, parts of Windham County only ending up with less than an inch of rain, while neighboring towns perhaps were soaked. And then, of course, western Connecticut, well, we didn't really see much of anything. And yesterday we thought that maybe things would be favored in the eastern part of our state, but still, it's always interesting to see how it plays out, especially with these pop-up showers. We can talk about the potential for them, but it's very difficult to nail down exactly where they will pop up. If you didn't catch the drought monitor yesterday, some very minor tweaks compared to last week. The theme, though, remains the same in that most of the state still could use a bit of rain. This month has been very dry. We're over an inch and a half down compared to normal for the Hartford area. And it's been cool, 2.7 degrees below normal for the Hartford area month to date. So we'll see how the final numbers shake out. But with some cool mornings in the forecast here as we wind down the month of August, it certainly looks like we will be making a run for an average temperature throughout the course of the entire month to be in the upper 60s. Still, it's very unlikely that we end up in the top 10 coolest Augusts on record, but notable nonetheless. Here's a live look on our iCam in Torrington right now. Roads are dry in northwestern Connecticut, as was the case throughout the day. A live look on our iCam in Rocky Hill pointed north to the Hartford skyline. Looking good out there. We still maybe see some lingering cloudiness out there. And a live look on our iCam in Old Saybrook. It's a bit easier to make out where some of the clouds are there off in the distance. But all things considered, it's a quiet night across the state. Temperatures are between 60 and 70. Actually, 59 in Putnam is the cool spot. 68 right now in Meriden. 61, though, in Willimantic and Waterbury. 62 in Norwich. 70 still in New Haven. 69 in Bridgeport. But even where we see those low 70s popping up, cooler than yesterday at this point in time. And that's the case for most towns across the state. And we will watch temperatures fall back even more quickly as the night progresses down into, say, the upper 50s to around 60 through the pre-dawn hours tomorrow. But as skies clear out, those temperatures will fall back quickly. 50 to 55 in many communities, with upper 40s in the typical cooler spots of northwestern and northeastern Connecticut. But it is a pretty nice rebound tomorrow. Temperatures about 70 to 75 or so. While it will be bright, that is cool for late August. The sun rises tomorrow at 6:15 in the morning, sets at 7:27. Woodstock, Haddam Neck, and Goshen all hosting fairs tomorrow. We're expecting temps, say, around 10 a.m. to still be in the 60s, but we're back into, or at least approaching 70 by noon. We'll be in the low and mid-70s through the middle of the afternoon into the early evening, with temperatures falling off tomorrow night. Also want to bring to your attention that there's a big game going on tomorrow at the Rent. There will be a ton of Channel 3 people there. If you see us walking around, we'll likely be wearing shirts, hats, or maybe both. Make sure you say hello. Should be a great, fun time at the Rent. It is going to be, of course, CCSU versus UConn. 2 p.m. kickoff. Tailgating beforehand, looking great. Plenty of sunshine, temps in the 60s. So you may want an extra layer out there, but by the time we get to the afternoon with full sunshine and temperatures in the low 70s, it's still going to feel quite warm. High pressure settles in behind that front. As we go through the day on Sunday, it's basically in control, which is what gives us that nice bright end to the month. That also means that we don't have any humidity to worry about over the next several days. Maybe we'll see dew points climb a little bit by next Wednesday, but we're still in the pleasant range. So nothing tropical feeling locally. And in the tropics, as we approach the peak of hurricane season peaks on September 10th. So this is typically when things are pretty active. There's only one thing the National Hurricane Center is tracking right now. Off the coast of Africa, low chance of actually becoming named here in the next 7 days. So on the First Alert 7-day forecast, 40s out there Sunday morning. Might want to have an extra layer nearby Sunday if you're out early too. Labor Day looking great, back to about 80. 80 on Tuesday, 81 on Wednesday. Inland shoreline highs will be in the 70s. Now, by next Thursday, we'll start to see clouds increase a bit. Pardon me. We'll start to see clouds increase a bit by Thursday, out of heaven an approaching front, and that will lead to some showers on Friday. Temperatures on Friday forecast to be in the mid-70s. So another cooler day out there, but really the only substantial chance for rain that we see over the course of the next 7 days. So your first alert that we are watching that. On the 6 to 10 day outlook here, which brings us into the first weekend of September, shades of green indicating the higher likelihood that things could be a little bit wetter than average. That's especially true if you look to our northeast. So perhaps this could be one of those things where we're on the cusp of the wetter weather on this particular time frame. But maybe the bigger story, more notable story, is the cool air that's forecast to follow it up. Those deep shades of blue, almost purple, that you see in Michigan and Ohio across the Great Lakes, indicating a very high likelihood the temperatures will be below average, but Connecticut in a shade of blue too. So in other words, the pattern will favor perhaps a chance for some showers and the return of some cooler air as we kick off the month of September. And September 1st, you may not think about it, but our average high still 81, average low still near 60. It's not until the end of the month where the numbers become more, we'll say, fall-like. 70 degrees is the average high by September 30th. 48 is the average low by the end of the month. And we typically see about 4.39 inches of rainfall. So we'll have to see how everything works itself out. But there are some signals here approaching the end of August, start of September, perhaps even as late as the first week of September, that we could see things running a bit cooler than normal. So just consider that your first alert, that we are keeping our eyes on the pattern, and as of now, it looks like things should be running a bit cool. And that's the case on this first alert 7-day forecast. We do trend milder as the weekend goes on, becoming more seasonable, especially Sunday into Monday and through the middle of next week. But either way, great weather to get out there and enjoy it this weekend. Now, when it comes to shower chances late next week, a little bit far out, but you can always track those with the free First Alert weather app. In the meantime, we hope you'll join us over on the Wax at 10 and Channel 3 tonight at 11. Our next First Alert weather extra will be on Monday morning, Labor Day Monday, at 8 a.m. Have a great night, everybody, and have a very safe and fun holiday weekend.